This is Joe Murray, retired farmer. It is 5 minutes to 6. This is Joyce Marcinowski, teacher. It's 5 to 6. This is John Clem, airline ticket agent. It's 5 to 6. This is Mrs. Edie DeHitz, 5 minutes to 6. This is a story we don't often hear today. It doesn't have to do with crime or our lack of morality or any of the grueling social subjects which we seem to hold so dear these days.
How about you, John? 1.
Well, Cameron, 2 for another day.
Bye.
Cameron Tate has cerebral palsy. That means that his brain has been damaged, in his case, at birth. He will be somewhat handicapped for life. Normal movements, which most children make with no effect, are almost insurmountable tasks for him. The simple acts of running and walking must be learned through constant training. Cameron's mother recalls when she and Mr. Tate first suspected Cameron was not developing normally.
Cameron wasn't able to do the things other children could do at the same age. At 6 months, for example, most children sit up, but Cameron still wasn't able to. By the time he was 8 months old, we knew that there was definitely something wrong, but we still didn't know what it was. And by the time he was 11 months old, we had great concern, so we came to Edmonton and we found out then he had cerebral palsy.
Mr. and Mrs. Tate have found great progress for Cameron through a patterning technique developed by the Institute for Achievement of Human Potential at Philadelphia. The technique is based on training the undamaged brain cells to perform in place of the damaged cells.
We feel that with Cameron's progress now, that in 19 months of this treatment, that he has progressed far more than he did in the previous 5 years of his life. And we really believe that doing what we are doing with him is really the answer to his problem. The people that we felt are opposed to the work done by the institutes probably don't know really enough about what they're doing.
We asked Dr. E.W. Gauk, a pediatric neurologist, why the medical profession has not fully endorsed the Institute's program.
The medical profession, and I can't speak for the whole profession, but pediatric neurologists in the past have not been hasty to accept any new treatment program for cerebral palsy. This disorder has been treated by all sorts of programs in the past, and with variable success. The program that you have outlined as available through the Philadelphia Institute is one which isn't proven to date.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is it possible that some of the improvement shown by some of these children is because not so much of the program than the emotional involvement of so many other people?
I think, as I said, it is very difficult to assess the program and the results of it. I think where one is emotionally deeply involved, one sees results that may not even be there. I think I mentioned that there were pros and cons to this treatment program. I think one of the beneficial aspects to the program is that it has made a great number of people aware of this problem. If it has done anything, I think this is useful, that 100 people know that there is such a child as Cameron Tate with such a problem. In the past, the children like these were usually hidden in the home, and the neighborhood was generally unaware that such a problem existed. I do not think that we have enough information available to accept this program as one that is applicable to all children with such a problem. And in fact, I would suspect that a great number would not respond.
The program is based on repetitive training using special techniques taught the parents.
The salt glow technique is to improve circulation, and I used to do it every morning of the week, and then it was decreased to twice weekly, which I did up until just last week, and now I just do it once a week. And I have to put Cameron in the bathtub, and I mix a thick paste of table salt, and I rub this into his skin and then rinse it off with water. And when I'm finished with him, he's really pink all over. He really glows. And following that, he has to have a brisk rub down and then rubbed with alcohol in order to close the pores. And then after that, he starts his program for the day.
The timer is set, and the cross pattern begins. The exercises require people, a lot of people, working together to provide some exercises 8 times a day, 365 days a year.
The cross pattern that we do for Cameron is putting him through the motions of creeping. If he was able to creep like a normal child, this is what he would do. And the people at the institutes have studied normal children and decided that this is what they do. And because Cameron's brain injury is in the midbrain, and that part of the brain is developed when a child is creeping. And so we are educating brain cells in the midbrain through this cross pattern that we do. We do the cross pattern for Cameron 8 times a day for 5 minutes, 365 days in the year. We never miss a pattern because we were told that the brain doesn't know about hairdressing appointments and Uncle Bill coming to visit and things like that, so it must always be done. Even if the child is sick, we still do the patterns.
Someone says you heard the lady.
Oh, yeah. Can you please now?
Okay, wait a minute.
No, what might go in this? What are you going to do? You put that one in your state.
Yeah, well, they put that
No, this one.
there. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened there. We've done this before, though, haven't we?
4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
1 and 2 and 3, 4.
No, not the next.
2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. 4 and 5, 6 and 7 and 8, 9 and 10. You weren't with.
After every cross-pattern exercise, therapy continues, not necessarily using expensive equipment.
A friend of ours made the crawling box. The Institute felt Cameron should have the crawling box so that when he crawled, he wouldn't raise his head too high. I like it because when he's crawling, he has to get through the box in order to see what's on the other side. And if he's just left on the living room floor, unless I'm standing right beside him, he'll stop crawling. He'll just lie there. But with the crawling box, he will keep going and get more crawling done in his allotted time that he has to crawl.
The longest minutes of the day are the 8 times Cameron is fitted with a plastic bag and deprived of air to encourage a rush of oxygen to the brain.
Hey, Tom.
A few moments to catch his breath, and the program continues. Meals are taken between exercises. Cameron's brother Bradley and sister Joan are intent on making him a part of the family activity despite his busy schedule. The Tates have noticed much change in Cameron's condition, and although they do not expect the plan would work for every cerebral palsy victim, their experiences with Cameron have been very gratifying.
Against you? No, it's not supposed to.
All brain-injured children have to learn to develop their sense of feeling. And with Cameron, he has to be blindfolded and identify heads or tails on a coin. He does this one day, and then on alternate days, he has to identify different small pieces of material. At first it was difficult, but now he does really fairly well.
The cooperation of all the people needed to make the treatment work is one of the most encouraging things to Cameron. Maxine Bradley comes each Friday to give 1 hour of concentrated hand exercises.
I was very nervous the first time I came, but as soon as I came to the door and Thelma greeted me, she made us completely at ease, and I didn't even recognize Cameron as having the problems that he does. Now that I'm used to Cameron, I don't even think of him as a different child. I seem to be able to work with him, and I never feel that he has all these handicaps. I'm hoping to feel that Cameron in 10 years' time will be close to a young, normal man, and I know that he is very intelligent and perhaps someday will go into medicine or law in his, with his ability, because he has it if he could only get the coordination to go with it. And if you touch, we're going to start over again, okay?
Yeah.
Okie dokies. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we touched. We're going to start again, eh? 1. Doesn't matter if they fall out, you know. It's better if they fall out than if we touch. 2. Yeah, that's okay. Keep it nice and straight. 3. That's good. 4. Oh, well, we won't. 4. Okay, let's go. Let's start little. There now.
Yeah.
Now use your wrist.
Number.
That's better.
Number 2.
Number 2. And turn it. Watch what you're doing so you won't drop it. Why don't you just lift it up a tiny bit? There. Got it on this time? That's there. See, that's good. Yeah, but you gotta get it turned on first before you can count one more time. Yeah. Okay. So.
Mrs. Tate personally gives her son exercises to strengthen his vision.
Cameron's vision isn't developed properly because of his brain injury, and therefore we have to do eye exercises. We do the one using the flashlight. It is just so he learns to move his eyes back and forth, up and down, and then to converge them. We do the same exercise with an object, and then we use the cards. It's just really doing the same exercise, but with different objects so that he doesn't become bored with what we're doing. And his eyes really are so much better now. He can converge them now, which he couldn't do before.
Young boys love aeroplanes, and Cameron is no exception. To alleviate any boredom that may occur with the eye exercises, Cameron's mother often uses a toy aeroplane, and small eyes struggle to watch its movements. By use of flashcards, Cameron is encouraged to instantly recognize objects and focus his eyes quickly. Miss Helen Westbrook is a teacher by profession. She comes to the Tates 2 days a week from 3 to 4 o'clock. Cameron's busy schedule allows for his schooling.
Read that to me? 17, that's right. Go ahead.
I would know that on my own work.
What was that?
I will read it on my own work.
Good. You'll read that for your homework, will you?
Yeah.
Fine.
Miss Westbrook has found him to be an apt pupil, a better-than-average grade 1 student with a facility for mathematics and reading.
That's a good try. Good. Okay, go ahead.
Now I will go
Now, you're to underline one of these. Wonder which one of these tells about that. Read it and see.
help mother.
Mr. White helps mother, yes.
Every day we do writing for 1/2 hour. We do 10 minutes at a time because a 1/2 hour is too long for him. He lies flat on his tummy because we were told that he has better control when he's lying on his tummy. And at first he had to write very large letters, 8 inches high, and we would make them in dotted lines and he would follow the dots. But now he's able to write words himself, and this is what he has to do on smaller paper, about 4 inches, and write the words himself. And they're supposed to be the words that he knows that are taken from his reading, and words that he can spell himself rather than have me spell them.
But the prime ingredient is the day-after-day regimen of pattern exercises and the two devoted parents and the 100 for Cameron.
When we came home, our neighbor and friend Edie had 16 people organized waiting to help us. So we started to do patterns with 16 people. And from there, I think we probably got 40 in a very short time, and then it went to 70 and now to 100.
Oh, well, or is he still, are you still standing him up against you? No, it's not supposed to. No, I realize that.
This is the Bank of Montreal in West Edmonton. Harry Pierce, married and father of 2, is manager. Audrey Helgeson, married and mother of 1, is a teller. Dennis Gillespie, single, is starting his banking career.
Very first time we did see Cameron, I think we were struck with the sort of helplessness, the pity of the little boy. But until we got to know him, it was a little hard going over. He's certainly not mentally retarded in any way. All of us are looking forward to the day that Cameron will be able to walk. Could be shortly, but possibly it'll take another 6 months, a year. But we're certainly looking forward to the day we can run around with other children, and we'll feel that our help has been accomplished. And well, we'd go on indefinitely as long as we see there's definite signs of improvement in him.
No, I realize that.
He bothered me when I first went over, but not anymore because he seems to be so happy and take this all in his stride. Whereas I don't think that there'd be too many children that would. Not pattern after pattern and exercise and everything like he has to go through every day. Oh, I feel that he has really improved since we started going over there. We go Tuesdays and Thursdays, and when it's time to go, we just drop the pens and pencils and away we go. I used to go on Saturdays too. Each Saturday I'd go, and then my little boy got sick, so I had to quit going on Saturdays, but I went every Saturday for a while too. Even if we had to carry on with this for 5 years, I'd be willing to go along and help them as much as we could.
It's kind of a sad thing to see a boy that's so disabled in life, that late in life. I guess I just naturally took to him. He seems very friendly. Most of the people that are helping Cam have children of their own. And being single, I think it's kind of makes you think of when you have your own kids. You sure wouldn't like to have them like that. It's a real shame. I think he's the nicest, about the nicest kid I've ever met for his age. Like I said before, he's extremely friendly. He takes to people very quickly. Seems almost sort of as a younger brother.
Cameron has put in another busy day. His days are not filled with fun and games as are the ones of other children. He has fun, it's true, but he has a greater duty to perform. Tomorrow is another day for training. Some comfort is gained by the fact he could not go to bed himself until recently. And even his sleep time must be training, for his bed position is carefully planned as a pattern. Harold Tate is a devoted father and a booster for the treatment Cameron is receiving, but we asked him if sometimes the rest of the family missed some of the normal social activities.
Yes, I'd say definitely, you do. But on the other hand, you turn around, it's going to be as much of a thrill to me to see Cam back on his feet. Mm-hmm. And then I feel, from really plan to celebrate.
How about you, Mrs. Tate?
I think as a family, we're a lot closer to each other because of what we're doing, because really we do it all together, even the younger children. They always think of Cameron if there's a little snack being passed out and there aren't 3 pieces. The others that can walk and get there always say, "Where's Cameron's?" right away. And I think probably that our children are going to be better children from this experience. Oh, it's hard, but I don't ever feel depressed about it. In fact, I would say I feel excited about it.
How long are you prepared to carry on the pattern?
Well, I feel that I would be prepared to carry on for probably another 2 years. But I don't think we can say that it will be just so long, because then we'll probably be disappointed. Because actually, I think we thought we would have gotten farther with them by now than we really have. And it takes really a longer time than what I thought it would take. Anyway, and I don't think I'm so impatient now. I think I've learned patience.
My own personal feeling is that I think there'll be another year of it, at least.
Mm-hmm. And where will Cam have progressed to by then?
I hope to have him working. Maybe in developing these 3 steps and that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe to the point where I can hold his hand and we can walk along together.
That day may be far away. But Cameron's 100 are a persistent lot. They feel sure the exercises will result in his taking a place in the world.
I know we've both felt sorry for ourselves and for our child at different times, but I don't believe we do now. I know that when we see other children that are what we feel are worse than Cameron, we're thankful that his damage is as slight as it is.